Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That's my email, by the way, from Higgins. He emailed me. Let me mute this so you guys don't have to hear it. I had to calibrate my computer this morning. Apparently, there's some problems with it. I'm starting to dislike problems, anyways. Um, so, anywho, got a legitimate. Hmm, got a legitimate gripe this morning. Yeah, a big legitimate gripe this morning. As for a roasting pan to be cooked, right? Son of a bitch couldn't do anything. Claims being on YouTube too long, right? I'm gonna tell you guys a story, okay? Let me tell you what was going on, okay, yesterday. Tell you what was going on. For all of you that saw me, usually I don't um, um, get angry, I was someone accused me of being ungrateful. Not true. Problem is I'm gonna tell you guys a story today, okay? A story over coffee, and then I'm gonna talk about radios for a minute. Today I'm gonna do a radio thing, all right? I also want to tell you, I got an email this morning. It was disturbing. Now, honestly, I'm very happy with Zoe. I'm very happy that she's got her computer after 5 years. I was telling Dad, and Dad said, last night he was angry because he didn't call me on Thursday. Uh, so basically, let me just tell you what's going on. So last night I spent last night I spent 3.5 hours on the phone with Mr. Higgins. Right. You're like, what happened? Well, it wasn't good. Let's just put it to you that way, right? So, first of all, Higgins turns around, right? And, I help everyone, okay? I was very cranky yesterday because, I'm trying to run a channel here, right? And I'm very happy with Zoe. I was telling this to Dad. I said what really upsets me is a couple things. Someone emailed me about um, the pile of dishes. That's a roasting pan, looked like a rotten ham bone or something. And yet Chloe ate all the ham off of it. Ate like 12 pounds of ham. Made sandwiches. Made all this stuff, and then left the pan in there. She didn't want to cook it. And I'm cleaning the fridge, and to me. So Dad turned around and said, "Well, Chloe's mom not available anymore to Chloe because Chloe told her to fuck off. Basically, it's time for me to kick her out without any anyone to back her. I mean, their old mom threw her out because of her temper. It's time and let's just say I have a good relationship. He actually emailed apparently Chloe's mom. Chloe's mom says it's time for Chloe to go homeless, and Chloe is not gonna do anything that Chloe should be homeless because of the right reasons, right? So my legitimate gripe this morning was, we got 2 days. Chloe ain't even trying. It's like she's really trying to tell people, that she's too damn disabled. I mean, literally, her mom literally told Dad to make sure that I kick her out. She needs a group home, and I have compassion, but at the same time, I don't have that kind of compassion. I mean, someone asked me about my scanner dream, right? Thing is, Chloe screwed up my scanner dream. Okay, and I want to explain this. Why I'm a real person, like Piper thinks. You see, she gave me $100 gift card, right? She thinks because she's too lazy and she's too disabled, she's sleeping all day and all night and all day, and can't do anything, and then screams at me for not being on, screams for me being on YouTube, right? So, it's just been hassle. Higgins, we talked about it. He didn't get into detail yesterday of radios. I'm going to go through the radio list this morning, working from the bottom and going to the top. So, what I first do is I'm going to open tabs up. I've opened enough tabs up yesterday, but let's just get this over with. Coffee time with Rita. Zoe's apparently angry still, again, because I'm apparently not happy, or I'm a freeloader or whatever. My cousin Dinky's got some skepticalities of things. It's kind of funny because I was Higgins last night and I were talking about the beautiful Zoe, and he had some questions himself, and I was like, I don't know. And then Dad asked me, telling Dad the story of Zoe, right? And Dad says to me, we all are human. We're all human. We all want some, something, And I told Dad, I said the problem is I can't spend 4 or 5 hours a day on YouTube. It's just burning me out, And I was explaining to him that he says I'm more grateful than most people. The problem is I feel like a lot of people are using me. And last night I wanted to tell people that because let me just tell you a story this morning. I love telling stories, even though Zoe's not here. Well, so I told Dinky last night what happened, right? Dinky, and where to send the stockings, right? She said, does this person got it first or last name? I said, yeah, I'm not supposed to give it. She said, then how the hell am I supposed to basically send something if it's to the point of, attention, such and such front desk? I mean, literally, you got to give the first and last name of the person, and I mean, literally, it was funny, and I was like, here's her address, just mail them. So yesterday's administrative duty was just the funniest thing, but you know what? It'll either it's going to happen or it won't, I don't really care. I mean, she already spent, if anyone needs to know, I spent probably close to, it doesn't matter how much I spent. It's over $500, okay, literally, for custom-made stockings. People think I'm cheap and selfish. I mean, literally, I'm still paying in January for those stockings as an agreement. And Chloe wants in on the stockings, so you tell me what's going on. You know what I think? I'll tell you what I think. My sister, she emailed me. She said she couldn't even get me a $5 present this year. She's struggling. The one that had her Christmas stuff on. I said, oh, don't worry about it. She says, really? I said, don't worry about it. She says, you're so good to me. I'm always good to people. That's the problem. People don't see it. People want to sit there and accuse me of being ungrateful. I'm more grateful than most people. You know what? I'm going to back up Tony here for once and say, people that are ungrateful, the people that freaking sit there and literally, don't show it. I mean, literally, let me put it this way. Last night, you wanted to know how ungrateful I felt? And no, it isn't about being called ungrateful. I'm more grateful than most. I spent 3.5 hours, right, trying to talk to the honey badger, Higgins, on the phone. You see, Higgins turns around, right? He wants another radio. He wants to listen to digital content, right? Digital content. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be little Higgins. My thing is I'm going to go through the radios, okay? So, and we're going to do that now so I can get out of here today, okay? Today. So, first one I recommended, right? We talked about radios last night, right? So, I recommended this one. It is the Unit N BC 355N. What's so good about it? It's already pre-programmed. Apparently, a guy did a review yesterday where he just pushed the certain buttons and it works. Now Higgins comes up and he says, "Oh, I don't know which one. I need to read reviews." Look, I've done more research over this subject. I'm burned out of this subject. Zoe doesn't like me talking about it because, she's like, "Where's my scanner?" Well, FedEx stole we don't like FedEx. Me and Zoe don't like FedEx. And yet, I'll get to the scanner I bought that disappeared. Then I'll get to the scanner that Chloe bought and then canceled just because she was angry, And then she didn't even think about trying another model. She just like, hell. So I recommended this one for Higgins. Okay. It's all pre-programmed. And it would get his fire department, right? Higgins wants to listen, right? The problem is, as I told Higgins last night, when it comes to prepping, you got to get the basics, okay? Always check radio reference. We'll go to the end of the reference. I'll give you the link today. Radio reference has a database. Sign up to your particular area. And what radio reference does is they have a database, right? So it says browse, right? Browse the United States for your country, right? All right, here you go. Entire United States is on database. You just choose your state, check for digital or analog, and that will help you out. That's first thing. And I will personally. All right, so there you go. Higgins and I talked about that, okay? So basically, this is $93 and some cents. Hold on. You guys are always like asking me about the saying that Chrome needs to be updated. Hell with it. All right, so all of my Amazon, okay, it's pretty much $93. So $93, right? So Higgins turns around and he says, "Oh, well, I need to compare this one with the alarm clock, right?" And let's see, can I actually go down a little higher, a little? Yeah, so it's $93, okay? Can you actually see 150%? Yeah, you can. Okay, good. So it's $93, right? On sale, $93 even, right? And change. Higgins says he has X amount on his gift cards, right? I told him to go start with something small, okay? I mean, look, I've explained every time over, all right? As I go, I will explain the features, okay? This is all programmed. Even Zoe would not be as stupid to figure this out. She'd basically just push a button here, here, and here, and it'd be done. Anyone, even grandma, could just push the button. Fire department, EMS, as long as it's an analog area. Zoe looked into her area, like I said, apparently on one of the news things, and it was literally Cook County is literally digital. Okay, coffee time with Rita this morning is going to be this. So Higgins turns around, said he's going to review it, right? So let's just. I told him $93. Okay, so basically. That's just one, right? Then we talked about this one, right? This one's cheaper, okay? I told Higgins to buy what he can afford, right? However, I'm starting to think that Higgins is not listening again. I mean, this is why I don't want to help people. Literally, $91.56. The difference is instead of like 300 channels on the scanner that come out in your car, you can use this. It's got an alarm clock. I mean, literally. You just basically, the unit, you can have that thing programmed in about 30 minutes with freeze scan. Hook it up, right? And it has an audio out. Okay, Higgins is hard of hearing, right? He's so damn hard of hearing. He's hard in the head, too. The old joke goes, he might be autistic, Oh, I named him Ray. Ray doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, okay? He emailed me today with a link to hard drives, right? And I'm thinking to myself, oh, here we go again. It's started again. My gripe's going to continue. And I'm going to talk about my legitimate gripe this morning before I go to my game, okay? So it's $91.56, right? You get all the features. You get an AM/FM radio. You get an alarm clock with sleep snooze. You get a weather alert, search bands, EMS, aircraft, radio, more. I mean, Higgins is like, oh, well, I want all the channels. No, you don't. I mean, look, let me tell you, most people only use fire, EMS, and police, okay? Aircrafts are only listened to if you're near an airport, okay? Airport. Now, if you go out and you have a handheld and you're listening to it while you're waiting for your plane, you could be listening to like so many things. I mean, I've taken my scanner all the way across country. And I want to tell you about that because I was playing my game last night until my controller died. Yes, rechargeable controllers. I was going to make a joke this morning, but I don't want to make anyone thinking I'm a mooch. I need to get another repair. I need to save up for controllers, you know. We're only human, right? Got to save. And I was thinking Piper's videos last night, how he's basically talking about how he's making a few bucks here and making a few bucks there. You know, I was thinking of our beloved Piper, thinking, you know, Piper's fully right, you know. We all survive, you know, but, you know, Piper's probably sitting here thinking, hey, how come, you know, the whole thing about radios, right? See, I told Higgins for $91, right? This is the cheapest you're going to get. This is the cheapest that people are going to get on radios, $93, $91. You're not going to see any cheaper. But this has everything you need, and it gives Higgins something to do if he wants to listen to fire and EMS. Apparently, his county has simulcast, so I'm telling Higgins basically before you dive into spending $200, $300, $400, $500 on a scanner, you need to know literally. You know, he wants to buy something better because he thinks it's easier to program. It's not easier to program, okay? Let me tell you, there's two programs I use, FreeScan and Sentinel. Sentinel is easy. Now, we're going to get down to what happened with, as I go, I'm going to talk about stories, okay? Now, a lot of you have asked me, you know, how come I'm not really worried about a scanner? Well, let's just say the mail service is delaying, and two, I'm waiting for an electrical plug. Why? Because I'd like to keep my scanner going, my handheld one, because, you know, it can be used as a handheld and a base station. The problem is you can't use it as a base station when the power's out. You can use it as base station as long as you have batteries. And I paid like $9 on eBay for $9 or $10 for a plug because, you know, yeah, my dream isn't having a top of the line scanner. As I always said, you know, yesterday I helped with this. You did, but my thing is what's cheaper? $10 for plug or $40 for batteries. So Higgins, I told basically get this one or the previous model because it's cheaper. Unfortunately, you know, you can program these easy. Higgins, on the other hand, thought it would be better to get something more expensive. Okay. Now we're going to go down the list. Okay. Higgins was talking about the Bearcat 75 XLT. So last night I was spending hundreds upon hundreds of hours. Not hundreds. 3.5 hours total. Every time I try to help Higgins, he doesn't listen. I mean, literally, this one is a handheld. Okay. This again is an on-trunking scanner. This will pick up your EMS and your fire. It's $110. All right. This is your cheapest handheld scanner. You also get a warranty with it for a year. Higgins is also worried because it's filled by Amazon. It's not, you know, third party, right? So it's $109. This is basically everything you need as a handheld. The difference is it's got 32,000 channels. You can get military bands, police, ambulance, fire, no weather, marine, aircraft, railroad, civil air, amateur radio, and searches, right? Each one has their own thing, you know. And Higgins, of course, I've had to spend half the day yesterday, 3.5 hours on the phone. I'm trying to say, look, you want something for your hearing impairment. Now he wants to go and spend more money. I mean, look, you don't even know if you like the radio scanner. I mean, look, we know he's old, and we know he's hard of hearing, old man Higgins, and we also know that he's lonely. Okay, but a scanner is not going to bring out his fix his loneliness. I mean, look, I mean, literally, first he says he wants a handheld scanner for for carrying all over. And then he talks about rechargeable batteries. Okay, then when you have your scanner, your handheld scanner, get the 125 AT Higgins and hurry it up. The problem is you need headphones. Plug it into a headphone jack, carry noise canceling headphones. Turn the squelch so you don't hear the static, and then just basically listen to it through the headphones. Like, I have a second pair of these I keep on hand, but you can see these headphones pretty much have been my go-to headphones for years. I mean, this is, I don't like wireless, wired, I like these because I can zone out. Okay, so, man, Dinky got them for me. See, Dinky's cool. She got it for me in 2016. So, basically, $110. Can't complain. Basic scanner. You want a base station and it's a handheld. We'll get to the two first soon. This would do everything you need to. Higgins is like, oh, I like the 75 XLT better than the 120. And then buy it. I mean, literally, what's holding you back? Oh, well, I got to do research. You see, I've done more research than Higgins, okay? I've watched videos. Last night I put in some videos, and I was showing Chloe 3 scanners stacked up on top of each other and how the guy literally, literally, right? Turned around, right? And this is the thing that Zoe says, oh, you're a salesman, right? If I was a saleswoman, I would have got Higgins' order placed yesterday and said he's got to do more research, right? All right, so this is the Bearcat 30C. Again, it's $120. It's up in price. Why is it $120? Because, Higgins was considering this. It's got everything you need, 500 channels. It still does everything its non-trunking does. And but under Higgins' pocketbook, he can't afford this one unless he dives in, takes his tax money and whatever else he's hoarding, right? A scanner is only good as its user, and a scanner is also good as its area, right? Now, Higgins was like, oh, the radio 4 must be lying. Well, let's just say we're not on good terms because we have a difference. And the thing is, as I told Higgins, quote, unquote, okay, one of my methods to my madness is, why would I spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a scanner, right? Or have Higgins buy one, right? I mean, let me tell you the story real quick while I clean my ears. I think you're going to find this to be the most interesting thing, right? And then I'll show you what I was saying Higgins was talking about, right? So Higgins was looking at this radio, right? So Higgins, before he was on SSI, was being a tightwad. I told him, look, if this radio truly works for, better than CB and you don't need a license, then review it, And if it's a good review, maybe I'll invest in some, right? So what happens? Higgins buys the radios, 2 of them, $40 plus tax, bought antennas, bought all the crap for it. Turns out he can't listen to much, right? He's not getting much on it. He's trying to use it as a scanner. You can't use a ham radio as a scanner, right? So then Higgins turns around the other day and he thinks he's going to go buy this one radio, right? Now, I'm a radio expert. I can tell you, I should have been a radio operator in the military. Something like my dad was in a lot of different things in the military. Radio operators, one of them, CB and everything else, right? So he turns around, Higgins, and he says, oh, well, I would like to buy. And again, this one here is $120. Highly recommend it if you want it. You can get the base stations if you really want to get into it. I would start with a base station as a option and work our way up to handheld if you like. The handheld would be used specifically for if the power's out. Now, you might not like it. You might find it to be boring. I mean, literally, some people are bored. I mean, like, let me tell you, and I'll get to my stories as I go, but Higgins literally wanted to use another ham radio for a scanner. He's like, well, I put in the codes and the scans. You can properly scan certain databases, right? Fortunately, you can't listen to it because you're using a ham radio. The ham radio is designed as a ham radio. You can't just go and buy a Baofeng, flap your gums about it and say a Baofeng's great. Doesn't work that way. You want a radio scanner, you buy a radio scanner. You don't go buy a ham radio. Let me put it this way. I always joke with Zoe about the ham radio thing, right? The guy won't train me. He says ham radio is dead, right? That's why I haven't made the and I made arrangements already to get my own ham radio, which you can have a ham radio. You can listen to a ham radio. You can actually use a ham radio as long as you're not push to talk. Magic Mike said that. Okay, I love Zoe's nickname for Magic Mike. Anyways, the joke goes, you can't use a ham radio. I told this to Higgins, but does he listen? No. I was telling Dad the other day, okay? Anyways, this is 120, all right? I'm having coffee time with Rita this morning, but if I get up, it's to refill my coffee. But I want to tell you guys a funny joke, okay? Before I start with the next one, 18125, right? I want to tell you guys a story, okay? So Dad last night, right? I said to Dad, no one listens to me. I said, oh, correction, Zoe did. She got a deal on a 16-inch screen. She wanted like a 12. So I told Dad the story, about Zoe. And he says she'll come around. The problem is she can't be mad at something that you didn't do. I mean, look, I'm more grateful than anything. You know what I'm ungrateful for? I'll tell you, okay? Now that I've had some reflection time and game time, I'll tell you. Tired of doing these long videos, right? People emailing me every day like, oh, you're not as good as such and such prepper, right? Such and such prepper is a useless dirtbag who milks every one of his freaking people. He's a milk drinker. He milk drinks his damn people to death. He milks them. I don't milk you guys. I tell it like it is. But because we're all together as a unit here, and Tony's gone, either Tony went to a mental hospital. Let's hope Tony did, because I'm worried about Tony. Tony, if you're watching this, you need to post a comment, man. You can't just sneak in the shadows, all right? So I told Dad last night that I love Zoe dearly, and I said, no one listens to me. Well, Zoe did when it came to... vehicle problem. So you see, this is what I get, okay? You guys are hearing this firsthand, okay? You guys are hearing this firsthand. This thing doesn't chirp like a bigger city does, okay? Now, where I used to live, my scanner was put away. My hobby was put away because you couldn't listen to it. Now, you guys have been asking about scanners, oh, well, what other part of scanning is a hobby? Well, you could listen to the railroad. Fortunately, Higgins might have a railroad where he is. I don't. I have boats, okay? And let me tell you a story about boats, okay? There was a guy recently, okay? I think he was Canadian. Don't quote me. He actually wanted to meet me a while ago from the radio forum. He knows who I am, okay? So I met him for coffee a while ago, one day when I wasn't doing... whatever, it was on a weekend because he's Canadian. He took, he came over here the long way because he wanted to tell people literally outright that before they freaking judge me, they need to know what I'm like. So he literally came around and we talked. He had his radio, stayed in the hotel that Zoe wants to stay in, the one with the hot tub. He literally turned around and he literally said that when he took his 2 scanners, I'll show you ones he has, okay? It's in the list today, okay? Literally, he said the island is pretty damn boring. I mean, literally. We even sat down and had coffee on the waterfront near the ferry terminal. And that scanner that he had, which was more money than mine, okay? It's almost the same cost as... Zoe's laptop, all right? And I'm very happy for Zoe. I really am. Ferry was boring as hell. I mean, literally, you can pick the ferry up on P2 trunking or P25 trunking. Boring. I mean, literally. So, shall we continue? So, a lot of people sitting there, and, remember the 30C was like $120, right? The Unikin Bearcat 125 AT that Higgins is talking about, right, is 115. Now this would work if you didn't need an audio out. Thing is I'm saying if you're going to listen to a handheld scanner, which is mono sound, you put headphones on, you can hear from both ears if you have it. My scanner literally has it where it's programmed for one ear. You can't use it for two. The newer scanners are allowed to plug in and you'll hear both ears phones on it while listening. So what is the difference? Well, the 125 AT again is has 500 channels and it has alpha tagging, which is good for free scan. That's about it, right? And free scan is downloadable if you're a member of the radio program. So basically, the train basically, if you're listening to the rails, right, you can program it to listen to the rails, okay? Now, I highly recommend something like this if you're going to sit there and use it every day, okay? Now, if you're just worried about prepping, get a handheld and get done with it. Now, if you want to get into the hobby directly like I do, and I'm going to explain this, you want to either have once you get into the hobby, you're going to want more than one scanner. I mean, you want it for specific reasons, right? This is a great looking scanner. It's literally handheld, but it doesn't have audio out. Now, Higgins wants to start with it. So I was looking around, right? I was talking to Higgins last night, and we were talking about what is basic analog versus what is basic digital, right? And I said to him, unless you're interested in listening to your utility company, electric, water, garbage, sewer, it's like Lansing Electric Power Cooperative or some stupid thing. What's the point? Well, I see the guys out there and I'd like to know what's going on. Well, you need a digital scanner, and I'll get to digital in a minute. The problem is you got to ask yourself, how much are you going to be paying and how much do you want to pay? Literally, Higgins told me his price range last night. So we narrowed it down to 2 scanners, but then last night he kept thinking about it and wanting something different. Look, let me tell you what I'm going to tell everyone here, okay? Comes to radios, you choose your one you can afford, okay? Even Zoe says this to me. Why am I sitting on my gift card? To tell you why. Because I got 2 reasons for it, all right? One is I'm waiting for that plug to come in so I can make the decision finally, okay? 2 was I was upset, not at Zoe, but upset at the world last night because I emptied this morning over 600 emails before getting out of bed. You can say 600, yeah. 600 spam emails to buy crap early Cyber Monday. Is this a Cyber Monday deal? No, December 3rd to 7th. And Higgins is like, oh, whatever I get, is so this is shipped by Amazon, but that is a great scanner. Okay, now I'm going to go to this one, right? Now Higgins is always like, oh, well, you got to go through the one that's, Now I'm going to show you a couple tricks here, just because in a second, all right? So I always use the new filter, right? Now, Amazon is selling this for approximately $172.99. All right, let me just show you this, right? So Higgins turns around last night and he says he wants this one, right? He doesn't want the basic, right? Thing is, if you buy a basic scanner, right, he wants to feel he can be challenged. Being hearing impaired, he can be challenged. Thing is first of all, you got to ask yourself, okay, let me just tell you this. I'm going to poke the honey badger here, okay? Honey badger turned around, right? And I'm a radio forum member. I emailed a couple of my radio buddies about this, in the radio forum, right? I'm friends with. Literally said my brother wants to get the 15X. They still think he needs to try a digital model. Now, I don't know about that because, each one's different. Thing is, you got to basically look at your area and ask yourself, what do you want to listen to? I mean, look, if he gets it and it doesn't work, then he's got to ship it back up to Amazon within the return policy. They get an open box. And someone, and he's like, oh, it doesn't work. I mean, look, the thing is, you need to basically know what you're doing. Spending this kind of money for something like that. Well, it's got an audio out. Yeah, well, the other two has audio outs. What's this one? This one here is mostly mountable in your car. It's basically a car mount one. A nicer car-mounted scanner. Okay, unfortunately for Higgins, he wants this one, And I'll tell you, this is the actual one that Chloe ordered me. And Chloe promised me, and I've seen the order and everything. And yet it says ordered by Saturday, December 3rd. That's for my area, right? Unfortunately, the problem is Amazon, Higgins sits there and says, oh, I want this one. I mean, look, you don't even, you tried the Baofangs, it failed, okay? Then he turned around and emailed me about this other radio. We'll get to the end of the video for that one because, frankly, the radio is kind of funny, All right. He turns around, okay, and then he won't make the decision. Oh, well, I got to do research. Look, I've done more research than anything. The main one I was looking at getting in my beginning was this one, all right? But I went higher because people said that one wouldn't work in a digital area. The problem is this is too much scanner, all right? Why do you sit there and say, oh, well, look, there's two types of scanners. There's three types of, four types of scanners. Okay, you got your traditional analog non-trunking. What is trunking? Trunking is a subset of channels that's used by businesses and others as talk groups. So, for example, I have a radio. Okay, let's just say I have a radio that runs on a DMR, digital mobile radio, and I buy a 2-pack, right? A 2-pack. Let's just say I buy this radio, right? I'll show you what I'm talking about at the end of the video. And this radio runs on cellular frequency. You pay like $30 for a month, like cell plan, right? And say I'm sitting there, right? I have this little base station model, right? And there's a handheld model, right? And then all of a sudden Ducky messages and says, hey, Ducky here in Chicago, eye of the sky. I'm going out to get some food, right? As long as my base station radio is working, it'll tell me outright, that Zoe's on the road. And it'll tell me exactly. It uses the cellular frequencies to be worldwide. So basically, it's a worldwide radio program, actually in the U.S. So basically, Dad could have one too, and he can just radio me anytime on his way to work. Going to work, gotta do some work. I mean, literally, Higgins can have one. He can sit there and be a breaker, Rita, we're here. I mean, literally, these radios on cellular, but if the cellular network goes down, the radios can't be used, you see. So basically, what is trunking exactly? It's a subset of channels, right? So Higgins wants a trunking trunker, right? There's two sets of trunking channels, all right? One is analog trunking. This is the analog triple trunker, which I have a triple trunking handheld scanner, right? I wanted a triple trunking base station. Hubby basically realized that when the guy sold him that for me, Aaron didn't realize how many batteries it took. We went through rechargeable batteries, nickel hydrate. Literally, you can go in there. Radio Shack never had those plugs available. Apparently, they were hard to get. So, when the county went digital, I put it away. But while I used it for my trips and stuff, the trains were kind of interesting. It's usually like talk between the engineers in certain areas, but otherwise, the radios were mostly between conductors and engineers. That's how they converse, and so forth and so on. So the conductors has one job, the engineers have the other, and they run the teams, and then you have the car attendants, right? And they have all these radios, right? So listening to them is not bad on travel. Now, if you're traveling by plane, the scanner will pick up your radio. But the thing is, you don't need, there's the reason Higgins wants this, he wants all the frequencies. Thing is let me put it to you this way, okay? I got my radio scanner tuned into ham radio. Okay, me and Zoe, we always joke about me running a ham radio station. Okay, the truth is ham radio is not moving fast enough out here, nor is the police scanner, nor is the fire, nor is the EMS, nor is, I mean, literally, when you look at the big picture, what are you seeing? I mean, literally, Higgins wants to plunk money down. I mean, literally, I have a feeling whatever Higgins does, honestly, he's not going to be happy. I mean, literally, he will not be happy. I mean, buying this ain't going to make him happier. I mean, literally, it might not even work. I mean, literally, that's why I said buy the basic scanner. And if it doesn't work, then you move up to digital right away. But no, he wants to sit there and buy the triple trunking scanner, which Chloe ordered one of these for me because that was my ideal dream, you know. And I'll tell you, these guys over the radio forum, they don't want you buying analog. They think analog's dead. I mean, literally, 90% of the country runs on analog, but bigger cities are going away from analog. You know, there was a guy the other day who was reviewing something recently, okay? Now, you guys could sit there and say, well, what does this mean exactly? Well, my dream scanner, if you didn't know, was that one particularly, okay? I didn't want anything higher because I needed something that didn't garble up batteries. But I asked Higgins time and time again, a basic scanner that works for this area, right? You know what the radio boys say over the radio forum? Don't get an analog. It'll be dead. Use analog only if you're on travels. I made like 6 friends on the radio forum. 6. Most of them say that these fucking people are overinflated pinheads, which reminds me I need to check on my dip this morning because I had some Chloe out eventually. Okay. Alright, so while you guys are sitting there, Zoe doesn't understand, you know, when it comes to radio talk, Higgins is like, oh, I think she doesn't like radio talk, maybe, but I'm going to clear this up today, clear the air. Hold on a second. You see, with Higgins, he's starting to annoy me because I spent 3.5 hours talking about radios, right? And he didn't make decisions. He wants this one because it's a clean slate scanner, right? A clean slate scanner. And he's like, oh, well, you know, the shipping, right? Thing is, this scanner is too much for Higgins, okay? First of all, he can't afford it. He's got to look at his finances, okay? 2, first he wanted a handheld. Get the fucking handheld. Second, he wanted an audio out. Well, I'm going to tell you what I think Higgins should fucking do to make it fucking stick, okay? So this is too much scanner. Why did I want this one? Well, it's what I wanted because I didn't want to, because at the time, I'll tell you, I thought I needed a triple trunking scanner. You don't need a triple trunking scanner. Trunk Tracker 3, you don't need it. Out here, there is no trunking. Businesses. And they don't even use it. They're registered, but they don't use it. So think about it that way. Police use regular conventional, or the sheriff, right? So, shall we continue? So anyways, now we got into one of my favorite deals. Something that I highly recommend for any of you, but I'll tell you why. Because this is fun. This is totally fun, right? The 2 first. You buy 2 scanners for the price. This will get it done easier and faster now. 2 scanners for the price of 1, right? See, look at this. So, what is that? That's basically the base station scanner on the left and the analog on the right. Both analog, but this one's special because, this one has a cheat sheet, by the way. Of course, Higgins doesn't like that because of whatever reason, right? But that one on the right, the 355N. Okay, here we go. I'm looking for something real quick. Okay. I'm going to do 2 example, okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I got an example. That's why I'm doing this. All right. So basically, this gives you two analog scanners. The one on the right can be mounted in your car. So they're saying if you want a car mounted, this is the way to go. You can listen at home. And by the way, has anyone realized? I keep telling Higgins this, but he doesn't listen. The 365 alarm clock model takes batteries. So it takes three AA batteries. So even though you might have to reset your alarm clock, apparently, it actually the scanner runs on batteries too. So just to think about it. So it's an alarm clock, it wakes you up and everything. You can even go to sleep with your scanner going, well, and then you can use one of these, right? I told Higgins, this is what you need to start out with, this model here, because you won't have any problems. I know he thinks fancier and everything else. I mean, literally. Thing is, again, let's just get through this. This is a little more money, okay? But this one here is a better deal due to the fact it's a twofer. Now, let me explain the twofers, all right? This one, I find this one to be more to my liking due to the fact that you get the 30C and you get the base station. So you just don't get just one. And Higgins didn't even think about this option. So if Higgins is watching, he should think about it, the twofer. I mean, think of it this way. You get two scanners for the price of one. You get your handheld to take with you anywhere you want to go, including your mom's, and you get your base station for home. I mean, literally, you win any way you look at it. You get this one or the if you always said you wanted that. And the alarm clock one is highly recommended. I think the alarm clock one's pretty damn good in my opinion. And we've already talked about it. They have both. They're identical. They're different things. This one's an alarm clock and one's handheld. They both do the job properly, and they look really snappy too. I mean, literally, this one here, Higgins says, "Oh, it looks funky." That's basically what it is. It's basically funky, but it has a job. It's an alarm clock, and this is why I would recommend doing it. And it's also shipped by Amazon. Now, the next one on the list, Higgins is always complaining about that. Oh, it's not shipped by Amazon, okay? The next one is $208. Okay, this is one of my favorite all-time ideas myself. I mean, literally, Higgins should learn about this too, which is right here, which is base station and a handheld. I mean, look, that is what the scanner's ultimate dream. I mean, literally, the reason why people have multiple scanners is to listen to multiple frequencies. A lot of people don't know that. People say, "Oh, well, I mean, look, I mean." Literally, you're living in an area, right? It's analog. And say you go, and I'll explain the whole scanner thing, the final part of it, okay, in a second. But anyways, if you look at this job, this is the one I highly recommend for Higgins. I mean, literally, it's a twofer. You get two scanners for the price of one, and it's a few bucks more than a one something something. And you know. All right, so hold on a sec. All right, so Higgins emailed me, right? So I gotta finish my email to him real quick. But the twofers is a damn good deal. I mean, literally, you can't complain, right? I got some multiple tabs open, so don't worry about that. So basically, I'm trying to speed this up. Um, so what I'm doing is, okay, all right, okay, that should do it for this part. And sorry, I was talking about Higgins. All right, so. There. So I just emailed Higgins saying that the base station or the twofer would be perfect for him. He emailed me to confirm that apparently the handheld models have to be charged. So Higgins emails me again about power inverters this morning. Well, he wasn't interested in power inverters, but we'll get to that. So I told Higgins this would be your perfect best bet if you want to buy two scanners for the price of one. I mean, you cannot literally complain at all. You get two scanners for the price of one. Now, I'm going to explain a couple things to you soon enough, because I think you're going to find this to be kind of interesting when I reverse backwards to the final part of the radio discussion. Gotta give me a second. There we go. All right. So, I got so many tabs open, that, a real person has to work their butt off. I love Piper, by the way. He says, "Oh, you're real." Yeah, well, so the 2-for-1 is your best deal. I mean, literally, you get both to learn from the push button at home, which means you can maintain your sanity, or if you really like a better idea, okay, a lot of people say to me, "Oh, Rita, how can you do this or how can you do that?" Right? You can buy a twofer of these, right? One of these packages, right? Then you can buy a third one of them 35 ends, right? The BC 35 ends, right? You're probably thinking, why would I want a third one, a second one of those? I'll tell you why. You use one for the house, the handheld for power outages and emergencies, which means you don't drain it that much because you don't want to use them unless you have to, right? And then if you really get into the scanner, you can always mount the other BC 355 in your car. Of course, I wouldn't recommend for Higgins. Apparently, he drives a clunker. And two is he doesn't drive out that far, so for him, a twofer would work. I mean, think of it. Higgins would win, not just win over his scanner tests. He can literally basically turn around, and if the pair doesn't work, he can send it back. I mean, think of it. 178 plus tax, right? Or 207 plus tax. I mean, literally, you get the handheld at 125, which is pretty good. I mean, in his area, he doesn't need trunking. But anyways, can we just get this over with? Because frankly, I still need to finish my morning coffee this morning. And two is I'm getting tired of the fucking socks doing whatever. All right, so we're gonna go into what Higgins calls a is this at 150%? Yeah, it is. It's a little too big. Oh well. Basically, this is on a 125 chassis, okay? You saw the 125 in the last video with the twofer, okay? The one I recommended for Higgins. So, this one here is the one that Higgins literally wants himself with, right? Fortunately, it is by police scanner. It's sold by, packaged by, and ships by. Excuse me one second. I changed my socks real quick. Sorry. When your socks start to roll down, you know you got to change them. Okay, so Higgins turns around and wants this one. He's been eyeing this one. Well, he can eye it all he wants. The thing is you got to ask yourself, first of all, does it have a video or an audio out, right? He'd be paying double the money. But before he gets all high and mighty in a scanner, he should buy the twofer, in my opinion, due to the fact that it would work perfectly. And that's what I truly recommend. Power inverters, not looking for one of those yet. I already bought my solar batteries and stuff. I mean, literally, I'm basically broke because I'm following Mama Fanny's thing. But at the same time, people ask me how come I have not bought a digital scanner. We haven't got to that story yet. This has 25 dynamically allocated channels, and the Trunk Tracker 3 has 9,000. Okay, the problem is, again, this is Trunk Tracker 5. So unless you find a trunking system you want to listen to, most of it's boring. Now, I know certain channels need simulcast. I mean, literally, the people on the radio forum, which Higgins is a chicken, he won't go ask the questions himself. He asks me to do it. And they keep lambasting me, saying that none of these scanners for Higgins will work. For example, you want to listen to the railroad? Go near the SDS 200 or SDS 100. We'll get to those in a bit, okay? I'll explain why they sell them. Then you have the people that turn around, right? And they're like, well, I had to tweak this and tweak that, and it took me like 30 hours or something, to get it to work. 30 hours is a long time to tweak scanner, okay? It's two types of people. There's the ones that listen to it for entertainment, for news. And then the second people are the hobbyists and the purists. The purist is the one that, uses it for real. Oh. The other ones are the ones that use it for, other things, right? So this one would work if you had, and by the way, it's a police scanner outlet. So, Higgins is like, but the higher up you go, the more likely it's going to be third party. See, Amazon is told by unit and what third party sells it, not the first party like Amazon. So this one here is $340. It does everything you would expect. It does analog and digital. The only difference is if Higgins found out he has to go digital completely, then I've steered him in the wrong direction. You see, that's why I said get the basic scanner. If it picks up fire and EMS and railroad and other things, then he's got it figured out. He can play with it. But if that doesn't work, and it's completely digital in his county, then he is literally sitting there. I mean, literally, he's got the radio reference. It's always updated. The problem is eventually it'll go all digital. And some places use encryption. So, problem is do you need a trunk tracker 5? No, you don't. Again, a lot of people think that they should just sell basic digital scanner. They did, but now they want to incorporate everything in it. Trunk Tracker 5. They want to incorporate 25,000 dynamically allocated channels, close call. And, you have to look closely. I mean, literally, this has alpha tagging, I believe. It shows Irvine Police in the picture, but does it, the thing is the twofer would work perfectly. I think it has alpha dynamic, I think. But anyways, the thing is I've asked Higgins specifically. Emailed me this morning like, hey, did you know you can't charge which models? Are you talking the 75 XLT, the 30C, the 125 AT, the 325 P2? P2 is cool, by the way. I mean, so basically, this is one of those scanners that has too many features. And you're in an analog area, this is overkill. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But if you're in a digital area, you might like it, but a lot of trunk tracking or close call or talk groups are on trunk systems, and so unless you want to literally go with that type of model, it's not worth paying $340. A lot of people say, "Well, Rita, how come you haven't got your scanner yet? Your new one?" I'll explain. We haven't got to that story yet. The next one is again. This one here is the one Higgins is like, "Oh, I like it," and it's got audio out and audio out and audio out. And, the thing is the audio out is what he wanted it for. So to me, it's like, make up your damn mind. I mean, I went through the entire radios last night. This one's ships from Amazon and sold by Police Scanner. So again, Higgins has got his question mark third party support. $358. It says audio out. It has closed capture, alpha tagging. 25,000 allocated channels. Yeah, there it is. Alpha tag right there. 4-line alpha display, base mobile design, phase 2 location based, and digital mobile trunk tracker. So it's basically a base station version, as a telescopic antenna, and has everything you need in it. It's a clean slate. You can also put in a $90 USB dongle for GPS, and they'll program it for you if you have the GPS location turned on. So with all that features, what is wrong with it? Nothing. the thing is it's got everything Higgins wants. But Higgins, of course, won't make up his mind. He just keeps flipping like, look, the thing is, for a scanner like this, unless you're using the trunk tracking 5 features, it's just too much. I mean, literally, they stick these trunk tracker systems in, trying to say you're getting a better scanner. And what trunking is it's basically a subset of things. Now, if the police is using trunking, you'd want to listen to trunking. But if the police ain't using trunking, the P2s, like in our area, the ferries, the only thing on the Department of Transit that's running P2 trunking, or P25 trunking. So, or P25 digital, I should say, the P25 project P25. So what's that tell you? It tells you right there that you can plunk all the money in you want, and it's too much. Now, if Higgins wants to use that only, then it's highly recommended. But he should think about the analogs to start with. Get the twofer. If that doesn't work, move your way up. I'd like to buy a scanner a month myself, but a lot of people say to me, how come? Why? Because I like listening. The problem is my scanners are programmed for the right departments, right? Now I got another one to move up to, okay? The next one is this one. $4.89 on sale, right? Again, sold by Amazon directly. I'd love to get that one, right? But again, it's this one here is approximately one left, right? They're gonna have somewhere. It's basically a database scanner. That's the guy that brought down his scanner from Canada to visit me. He used that one specifically. I loved it, by the way. He literally went back and reported to the guys that the forum is wrong. Literally. He said this island is so backwards it'll be years before they go digital, if then. I mean, literally, they're trying to sell a fireboat and a police boat because they have too many. Yet no one wants, I mean, they got to get a council permission. But that scanner there is the most beautifulest scanner I've ever seen for reviews. I mean, literally. I mean, that is overkill again because it's Trunk Tracker 5. It has alpha tagging. It has it all. Uses the Sentinel software. The difference is if you're going to be sitting there in a prepping situation and the power goes out, the problem is you got to ask yourself 2 things. Those things do drain batteries. So, but the thing is I'd like to see Higgins' report on the battery list. But this guy brought it down for me, right? Literally brought it down for me. And I'm telling you, that was like one of the numbers that I'd like. Guys on the forum were telling me literally to buy that particular scanner and find a way to plug it in with a special USB plug so it runs 24/7 as a base station scanner, due to the fact that I could not complain because it has everything I needed. But they're trying to sell me that one, which again is overkill for an analog area. It's only good if you want to use it as a update, or if you're traveling in an area it's going to be digital, so you can just convince your wife, well, look, I'm buying this one because we're traveling and we're going to be in a digital area. No, it gives you a reason to have it just in case you travel more, right? Now, you're wondering about the next one on the list, the story. I ordered this one. I told Higgins this, and it never came. Apparently FedEx and they're still arguing. They claim it wasn't delivered. It was lost in Trout's-Tail. And FedEx doesn't want to basically pay up. And, it's like, oh, well, so we're basically leaving it alone. They're basically duking it out. But this is the one that everyone wanted me to get. Okay, the forum, everyone for base station. It's not a clean SATA. It's a database scanner. So basically, it's got phase 1, phase 2, analog digital trunk tracker. It's basically a scanner that all you do is you put in your zip code and it programs the codes for your area and then scans for it. And you can literally leave it at that one, Unfortunately, the problem with that digital trunking scanner is the fact that it's overkill for an analog area. And so it went missing. So then in August. So since then, I got to use the restroom real quick, guys. But the story goes that this scanner was the one that they tried to sell me on. So Yesterday, Higgs' old boy said, "Oh well, they're trying to sell us on a better one." No, basically they're trying to tell you to be prepared in case everything goes digital overnight. You're covered. Otherwise, you'll be stuck with a dead scanner. That'll only pick up the marine bands and the weather. To me, it's fine. But anyways, this scanner here is $500. All right, that's one that I bought, and then Chloe bought me another one. I was gonna stack them up against each other and have two scanners running, but it didn't work. And because of it, well, here we are talking about why I haven't bought one. Well, think about it while I use the restroom real quick and continue. Think about it. Why didn't I buy a new one besides this one and the 15X? Which I'll show you guys this one and 15X, compare them in a second, right? And that is because for other reasons. Now, I got a couple tabs open left, but I got to use the restroom, so potty break for a second. I'll be right back. Shit. All right. Okay, peeps, I'm back. Sorry about the delay. I had to use the toilet for a minute while reading the news, which is pretty damn boring today. So, shall we continue? So, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, so I gotta get to Skyrim soon. So, I gotta change my underwear this morning, get into Skyrim. So, here we go with the stories of the last two scanners, and then we can go through the tabs and I can finish up here. Okay, so the SDS 100 is a radio scanner that's highly recommended, as they say, for Higgins. Basically, it's got digital performance in weak signaled areas, simulcast areas, which means it can simulcast 3 or 4 or 5, whatever, how many channels at a time. So basically, it can basically be the only one that can pick up various towers and various things. So this thing can go 85, 120 miles depending on the antenna or longer. So say you plug it in and you want the police chatter. You might get the sheriff, the city police from like every city in your county, as well as every city and the other counties near you. So say you have Higgins is in Lansing. All of a sudden, the thing will pick up everything in all 3 counties. That's why they call it the simulcasting. But, again, DMRs for digital trunking and for businesses. Now, if Higgins wants to buy a DMR, you can pay like $75 for DMR for this. But Higgins is like, oh, I want to, well, thing is this worth it? Well, it depends on how much money you want to spend. I personally think it looks kind of blocky and bulky. I might look into reviews on this, but to me, it doesn't look too impressive. But all these guys on the forum, that's all they talk about is that and how it's great and how they upgraded. To me, and it's from police scanner, so you'd be waiting a while. That's the thing. I don't know anything about the reviews. Higgins is just talking about that anyways, but the guys are talking about this is the only one that work for his area. So the thing I was trying to say is, for Higgins' advice, and he won't listen anyways, is what do you do? Well, I'd go with the twofer. Try them both out. If they don't work, send them back. Then Higgins ain't out a lot of money, but I would go with the base station to play with first of all because you don't know if there's going to be a power outage or not, right? And if there isn't, then you're good, right? But if there is, you plan for the twofer, right? If it doesn't work, then Higgins goes out and either gets the 325, which he wants, or the 996. If that doesn't work, okay, hypothetically, he will get a lot of different things, but he won't get like police, right? Say he can't get police, right, or fire or EMS or whatever because it's digital, right? At least we know ahead of time. But the radio forum doesn't answer this. They keep selling people with these. This is the best you can get. This is the one you need, right? Now, there's one more in my arsenal to talk about on my arsenal, I call it, in my tabs. Again, for police scan. Now, Higgins was talking about this one too, but again, the question do you have is, and I was joking with Zoe the other day, where's my SDS 200? Because, it's more than what she paid for a laptop. She said something like being ungrateful. She should know by now that it was literally a joke. I'm not a moocher. The reason I don't need this thing is even though it's a database scanner, it's too much scanner for me. Literally. What am I going to do with it, huh? Am I going to eat it? No. Thing is this is a base station mobile digital trunking scanner, trunk tracking 5. It has everything you need to know. It's got everything in the business, right? It has everything. But at what cost to the American people? I mean, literally, how much radio does one need? You can get a basic scanner that will do the job if you're an analog. Or you could sit there and wait for hell to freeze over, thinking you're going to be switching. Excuse me for a minute. I thought I saw something outside. I hope not. Well, it's supposed to be snowing in a couple days. So then you turn around and you buy this one, right? Too much money. Too much money, right? So, too much mucho dinero, right? What do you get out of it? Well, I got a $700 bragging rights. So you get it for bragging rights. Do you think you'll be happy spending $700? No. Was I happy spending 500 plus whatever? And yeah, I have tracking, and FedEx lost my package in Troutdale. No. And then am I happy that Higgins keeps squabbling about going down and being like, oh, yes, I'm going to buy the 15X? No, because frankly, the point is he knew that's the one that Chloe ordered me and it was canceled. The problem is the 15X hasn't shipped, and there's a lot of problems with Amazon shipping it. That's because a lot of Amazon employees have been delayed. I mean, literally, look at Higgins like, oh, yeah, if I buy, I'm going to get it before you. Here, you see? That's poking me. My opinion is I'm not poking Higgins. My point is if you're going to buy a fucking scanner, you buy one that's fucking the twofer. I mean, literally, doesn't anyone have any idea of the twofer? Or is there even something about a twofer? I mean, literally. I mean, I can go on and on and on about radios right today, but the point is a twofer would work Higgins for the best. I mean, literally. I mean, I got a couple other tabs open for the back of the discussion here, okay? I mean, literally. I mean, if Higgins wants, he can get a twofer, right? I mean, literally. I mean, that's all you need. I mean, literally, you can have twofer, right? All right, so this one here is too much money. You can get more scanners for the price. You can get more analogs for the price of this. See how it's got like 3 different scannings going at once? That's what they call simulcast. So it's basically reading it and, it's like pretty good. You also can mount this in your car if you want. I think it'd be too big, but that's just my opinion, but this is way too much money unless you're really severely into the hobby and you want it. You're in an area where you could use that baby every day for everything from airlines to military to everything railroad. I mean, literally, you'd be monitoring everything, and a lot of people like this one specifically for monitoring multiple channels, multiple counties, like they recommend for Higgins. But they say that Higgins digital P2225 won't work for Higgs, and only this would work. So you got to ask yourself who's lying and who isn't. The thing is I told Higgins outright that if he's going to invest in a radio scanner, then he should get the twofer or invest in a basic model, because he's new to it. I've been doing this since 2007. I know what I'm talking about. Literally, my scanner isn't chirping. Do you hear it chirping? No, you've heard it in the past chirp. Higgins was like, oh, I listen online. It's like every 20 minutes or so. Yeah, it's because we're on an island and it's a tourist trap. And the only thing they're picking up is other things. So, shall we continue? So, finally down the list, I want to basically make a laugh for Higgins this morning, all right? I got tabs still open, but I have reasons for it. Remember, I told you I was going to get to the bottom of this. This is the radio right here, this one here, that Higgins wanted for DMR. It says DMR analog, right? Thing is, it's only designed for DMR, which means DMR is what you use for programming it. You don't literally use it as a radio for listening to DMR. You use it to program DMR. You see where I'm going with this? So he turns around and he wants this wonderful radio that's DMR because he can listen to his hospital. $100. This is what he's talking about, right? $100, and then he's going to be using it. Basically, this is a ham radio. See where it says right there? 3,000 channel ham radio. Again, he's going to be, and it's from Radio Rated.fi, right? He wouldn't be happy anyways. It's a ham radio. Literally, you're basically spending a ham radio because he thinks it does DMR. Basically, it's a ham radio. I mean, literally. Do you buy a ham radio as a scanner? No. I mean, literally. There's, the thing is you got to look at the big picture. Now, just to be funny, don't buy ham, by the way. The next one on the list, I think, is going to be kind of funny, okay? I'm just going to go through these really quick because I'm almost out of radios, okay? I want to show you guys a radio They look like CBs, but it's something you guys need to learn about today on a radio discussion prepping. Now, Higgins was talking about one of these. Okay, not this one in particular, but I'm using this as an example. See, it's like a CB, fixed mounted VHF radio, right? VHF, marine band, right? Very high frequency, right? So you guys sit there and you say, oh, that's cool. What is it? It is a marine radio. You see, it says, you got call, weather, clear, whatever, distress, safety, call, etc., right? And you have all these things, right? And it's pretty good. It's a boat radio, right? And you have all these boat radios, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, it's a great boat radio. Look at that. That's a nice boat, too, right there. It'd be something Zoe needs, Made in Vietnam. See? So basically, you guys are asking yourself, hold on a sec. So let's just continue, okay? Again, I like the white one, by the way. Just got to show it to you. But we're almost done anyway. So what did it happen? I'll tell you. So he wants a so, again, this is a marine radio. Now, it's like, how many people buy marine radios and stuff? And they're like, oh, I like the white one, by the way. But, the point is you can buy one, but you can't use it. That's the thing. You have to be on the water, okay? Now, just to be funny for this, okay, there's a two-way radio, okay? There's a unit and two-way radio, right? I'm going to show you this real quick. So I got an email from Higgins. I don't know which one it was that he emailed me. That's what made me laugh last night, is the fact that right here, handheld marine band radio, right? Still got the same thing. It's got like volume slow down, blah, 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 right? This is waterproof, and it's I think he says, oh, this would work good. But the thing is, marine means it's only on the water, basically. You can go and use it on land, you'll be in trouble because the marine band is for water only. You got to be on the water. It's a marine band radio. Now, in the arguments, I got 5 tabs left, okay? I made a few modifications here to discuss the final parts of radio, okay? Because I'd like to get this done sometime today to go to gaming, okay? So, anyway, so I told the Higgins pretty much to, quote, unquote, look into buying this one here because of this one here because it would be proper in my opinion. What did he do this time? Okay, so Higgins decided to. Okay, so he went with the basic scanner. Okay, so he ordered, apparently, I don't have to talk about the twofer. I was thinking of sending him in, but apparently he spent $93 and he bought this one today. It's at $93. I guess he saved it. Congratulations, Higgins. So Higgins won and got the BC355 in. Due to the fact that it doesn't work, he's not out a lot of money, but that will tell him exactly what he needs to know without using a ham radio. So again, congratulations on that. So anyways, I guess I don't have to tell you about the other two, but I will anyways, because, like I said, for you guys, I wanted to compare these two. So, again, what the hell? The fifth, I'm happy for Higgins. I mean, literally, this will make things easy for him. Literally, if it doesn't work properly, all I have to do is return it. So, let me get that thing real quick again. All right, so, but anyways, I don't have to talk about the others. The 2-for-1. I do want to say that for the record, I'm going to close these tabs up real quick because I want to finish up. This was the one I was going to highly recommend for Higgins, but because of the situation, for you guys, if you want to start a starting out one, you know, that's not bad. Congratulations, Higgins. Okay, so finally, the last one I'd recommend, the one I was going to recommend is this one with a handheld. They pair up nicely and you won't have any problems. But, unless Higgins wants ham radio, he can get a lot of ham. It's just the thing goes up like 900, 800 some megahertz. This one, the one on the right, the problem is the radio literally, Now, I was waiting for Cyber Monday deals. The reason I haven't ordered mine, people say to me, is how come? Is because I haven't literally bought, um, and this might just basically mellow me out, literally, without Higgins asking too many questions. Congratulations, Higgins. That he literally turned around and bought it so we can basically turn around and literally, he can actually use this, and he can also give me a full review on it too. So, so congratulations, Higgins. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, Higgins, I just want to share that with you. Congratulations to Higgins. You know. Anywho, the 2-for-1 is what I'd recommend. And then finally, this one here is the last one on the radio list. And then I will get ready to move out soon for the day. Got to change my underwear and get ready to move. But the 2-for-1 is the deals that's going on in the world. So, you know. So basically, I am happy for Higgins. I really am. So the 2-for-1, highly recommend it. It's from Amazon. Now I will be going through the list really quick, probably tonight. I don't want to go through the entire list, in the next whatever. I got a lot of work to do today. A lot of work to do today. So Dinky hasn't emailed me yet. I just told her what I wanted to tell her. What did you do? Yeah, well, the thing is I wanted to tell you guys there's a guy that stacked up 3 of those. Damn it. Let me explain it. The BC 355Ns that Higgins ordered, right? So the deal is there's this guy that has 3 of them stacked up, right? There's guys out that have 3 of them stacked up, right? And a lot of people Is that a Wuhan they're selling? That looks like they're trying to sell a Wuhan. Yeah, no, the UV 9G. So they're trying to sell the UV 9G. It's, I don't like when they basically sit there and they stick up. Thing is, you got to literally look at it, you know, um, on that aspect. So, but anyways, let me just tell you a story, okay? There's guys out there, okay, that turn around and they literally, for the sake of the argument, right? They turn around and they buy multiple radios. You're gonna probably sit there and say, "What? What? They buy what?" I'll explain it. They buy multiple radios, like one of each, right, or more, right, depending on their mood, right. And so what they do is, I got my tab thing, right. And congratulations, Higgins. Yeah, yeah. Well, oh, I know that. Look at Chloe. We had problems with her debit card. Okay, so for the sum of the argument, say this is $93, right? Say you buy 3 of those, right? Now let me show you this real quick. Okay, so basically you buy 3 of these for $93 each, right? Now you don't want to basically, or 4, right? So basically you turn around and buy 4, right? Now you guys are gonna sit there and say, why the hell would we buy 4, right? Well, let me explain it. So you have the police department, fire department button. You have the air marine button, and you have the CB band, right? No, and you have the private bank scan, which basically programs it into private bank, right? Now, C. Higgins goes and likes his 355 in, but it's only scanning, one set at a time, right? But he wants to hear more. So he goes and he likes his 355 in. So he buys the second one. This time he sticks in the second one on top of the first one. Then he says for $90 more, he's got 2 of them now. What's he scanning? He's scanning, say, the police department, fire department, emergency. Then he's doing air marine band, right? Yeah. And then what happens? Maybe he's got a third one for something else, right? People say, oh, that's great, right? Well, as long as you have it that way, right? That's it. Now, another program I want to tell you real quick is this. Okay, a lot of people buy. Again, Higgins wanted this one. I told him not to buy something this expensive yet. Sending more email again, Higgins, because I cannot believe you're sending me more email right now. Okay, see? Chatter. No, more Cyber Monday deals. Okay, so basically, look at the scanner. Okay, the scanner, you can buy multiple of these, stack them up basically for 177. I was actually looking at, I'll tell you my story. Now that I actually got everything taken care of. I'm when Zoe messages me this morning about gifts. I already told Dinky to go with one of each color, you know. So, so yes, you know, so so basically one of my goals was, okay, I can talk to Higgins later about it, or he can email me, or he can tell me, right? So here was my goal. Okay, I was gonna buy multiple of these, right? But apparently the good old boys over at the radio forum, the good old boys, Dukes of Hazard, anyone. I was gonna literally buy. Chloe was gonna buy me one of those. I was gonna buy another one of those and stack them up, right? My radio thing. I mean, literally. But thing is, the guys are like, "Oh, you don't want to do that because you might waste money, right?" I mean, literally. So there's a lot of guys out there that have radios. They got like 4 of those and 4 of this and 4 of that, right? 4 of these, and that they're running them. But each band is designed for something specific. Like you can have 9,000 channels, so it can scan through bank 1, bank 2, bank 3. The problem is, each one would be designed specifically for a specific task. For example, you could program bank 1 for fire, bank 2 for EMS, or the thing is, you can run 3. The thing I was trying to say to Higgins is you can buy 3 scanners for the price of something like this, right? Nearly. Program it, and you can have 3 stacked up on top of each other, hooked up to with a splitter, and you can literally have one running through whatever it is. You got the audio or whatever. The thing is, you stack those up, you literally have a heyday when it comes to listening to what's coming out. That's it. All she wrote, right? So you get a radio like that, and you basically listen to it, and you're good to go. I mean, literally, what more do you need, right? So you get one of these, or 2 of these, or 3 of these, right? If you had 3 of them, you'd be wondering what you're listening to. But out here, you have Marine Band, and you have police, fire, and EMS. That's about it, and digital for the ferries. So, point is I'm almost done. Okay. So my main point was you can buy something like this, stack them up, and you can have multiple like some of these guys do, or you can go and spend more money and stack these up. Again, Higgins and I probably seen enough of these stacked up. By the way, stacked up anywhere for radios that you can buy these, for example, and stack them up, right? And again, the problem with the radios is that unless you're willing to pay more money, what's the point of having trunk tracker? You see, what is the point of trunk tracker? Trunk tracker is trunk tracker. I mean, yeah, you pick up the ferry system, but like that guy said, he had a top of the line handheld scanner for $500 plus tax. Does it work as good as Higgins? No, because it depends on what you're using it for. I mean, they can sit there and say, "Oh, your Higgins, mine's $500. Yours is a piece of junk." No, what Higgins has got, it will do his job just fine. And if it doesn't do the job, I'm more proud of Higgins for one reason. At least Higgins basically turned around and basically realized with my logic that if it doesn't work for $93, he can just package it back up and say, "Analog doesn't work for me, Rita. We're going to have to work on the next project for January," which would be getting him digital. And I might just basically splurge and get him one. I mean, he's already done enough research. I've done enough research too. But the thing is he'd have to get something like this, $358. The problem is I haven't bought one because Higgins knows that idle scanners don't chatter. Yeah, basically, that's the thing. So, living out in an island, people think, "Oh, that's great." Really, middle of the night, you might get a drug raid or a traffic stop. That's about it. In the middle of the night, they do all these raids because that's when they do it. But you can buy something like this, stack it up, you're good, right? Yeah. So finally, let me see. Do we have anything more? Yeah. And then finally, the last 2 on the list, okay, is, but not limited to, this one here, okay? This one is, but not limited to, $500. Again, you can buy them, stack them up like some guys do. The problem is what are you going to stack up? I mean, literally, it programs the database in, okay? Once it's programmed in, it scans that particular area for channels. So, for example, say you buy this one, you set it up, right? And you got it to continuous scanning through your private channels that you want, right? Whatever, you're sitting there for 3 hours and finally hear fire. About 8 hours later, you hear EMS. And in between, every 30 minutes, you're hearing the police. And then you sit there and you think to yourself, did I waste my money on a $500 scanner? Or did I not waste my money on a $500 scanner? I mean, thing is, you got to ask yourself, is it overkill or is it underkill? I mean, overkill means you're not going to basically complain, but all these boys are trying to sell you the most expensive scanner you can afford. For what reason? Oh, well, the county can change digital. I already was told by 6 sheriffs, if it goes digital, they're going to let me know ahead of time. They know I listen. One of my friends who's a sheriff, who's been just nominated as county sheriff, he said that it must be boring as hell in between no action because, they don't get it. So what you do is you can take the antenna, right, of one of these analog, right? And I can take my my antenna put it on a ground plane, like ham radios, crank the boost up on it through the window, and I can get all the way to Anacortes and farther. I can get Canada, and I can get in a big circumference, Whatcom County. Why? Because I tried it. 3-foot antenna will make it go farther. Now, you can be outside on a handheld radio, and you can hear more, but you don't want people to know you have the radio, so you basically keep it quiet. Fortunately, the joke about the radio is, because it's a hobby of mine, is I love my radio, okay? The problem is, even if they went digital, the problem is eventually they will go encrypted, right? So even if you bought 4 of these at $500 for a year, what are you going to use with it? One database scanner will basically scan everything that's saved, downloaded for your area. It'll scan it for you. So basically all you're doing is scanning it, right? Now for the king of kings, right? The final one, okay? I emailed Zoe basically. He's I hope she gets back with her stockings, What the fuck is this? Oh, okay, so it's an order I place, pre-order, okay. Higgins is like, oh yeah, whatever. Hold on. Higgins brought to my attention that the 30C, which I will be looking into next, right? The king of all scanners, okay? You can buy multiple, like some of these guys do. They have like 2 or 3 or 4 of these stacked up in their home at like $700. The question is, again, it's a database scanner, so it'll pull up everything in your area. And if you want to pull up a second zip code to put it in, all you got to do is go into radio frequencies and do it. So technically, say you have a massive antenna wired on top of your house that can pick up a lot more frequencies. It might pick 3, 4, 5 counties and basically, just go with heyday, and the bigger the antenna, the more counties it'll pick up. So, you can basically crank it out now. The point is some areas are digital encrypted, some are digital, some are analog. It's just, it'll analyze and download and do everything it needs. But the question is how much money are you willing to plop down for a scanner? Are you willing to pay $700 for the best of the best if you live out in a country where it's purely overkill? I mean, literally, for a person like Higgins, okay, I want to give Higgins a homework assignment today before I log off for gaming, okay? But I gave Higgins some more homework work, okay? So let me just go over to Amazon real quick. I will be updating this probably Monday because it's almost game time, and I'm gonna change my underwear and get out of here before it gets too late. Okay, so the 30C on the list is approximately $120. Okay, $120. All right, so right there. Okay. Basically, Higgins brought to my attention via email that the 30C cannot be used as turned on while charging batteries. Yeah. So I need to email Dinky real quick. Then I got to message Teddy real quick. All right, so message Dinky. My administrative duties are done. I'm happy for Higgins. He finally. So this will not charge. You can't use the scanner while charging. So thought I'd share that with you. So this one particular, we don't know anything about the 125 75 XLT or the 436 HP, the 325 P25, or the or the STS 100. We're working on that. Actually, I heard last night like 3 traffic stops last night. So, but anyways, so let's have some more coffee and then I'm out because, it's almost 2 hours. But it's game time. Chloe's got to get chores done. I'm going to change my underwear and... Oh, yeah, I didn't even know there was coffee in there already. Well, we'll just add a little milk too. I'm ready to eat some. Last night's dinner wasn't too good. Oh, we have any more? Yes, we do. So Zoe was like, yeah, you need to do this. I can do what I want. Okay. Better not have dried out hate life. Sorry, everyone, if I'm slow for a minute with coffee, but ugh. I was eating this last night. I took a picture for Higgins. Oh, I tell you, Higgins wasn't happy. I still got a cake to make today. Now this is well worth it, I love this cake. Oh. Now maybe we can stop talking about radios once Higgins plays with his new toy. Once he plays with his new toy, it might be beneficial to no, I'll message her though. She's cute. What were you saying, Higgins? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was eating. I'm waiting for Higgins to be a smart ass. Nope, not going to. Want to be prudent. But I will enjoy my coffee with my cake. I'm not whistling when I eat cake. Sorry. Mmm. You see, Higgins, I think, is more upset than I'm having cake. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Once this is done, my coffee's in me, I will log off and spend the rest of the day gaming. Holy, of course, I have to get off for that. If you fail miserably on Monday, obviously I'll have failure. Mm. Thinking about getting rid of her. Restraining order. Can't compatible with me for everything. Snaps at everything. Mm-hmm. Ugh. Tony's worried about me anyways. I'm worried about more about Tony than myself. Hmm. So the coffee time and then out. We've had a radio time. My rant's done. Higgins finally realized that my rant's done. But a lot of you want to hear my rant about radios. I'm done. Literally. The reason I haven't bought one myself yet is because Higgins was asking me the other day what bothers me. And you got all these people, and they know I basically am sitting here and you got people that sit there and say, well, we donated to your radio fund or whatever it is. How come you haven't bought one? Truth of the matter is, you can donate all you want. The problem is I'm here I'm here every day because I'm doing this for the people that have donated to the channel to keep it going. I mean, literally. But I am burned out. Same time, I'm burned out because of the topics. Most preppers are talking about stockpiling food and water, which is fine. Gotta thank Mommy Fanny out there again. Shout out to her for the coffee pot. Without it, I think I would have lost my noodle, but I would have bought one on the third here on the island. So I thank you. Of course, the lady at the what do you call it? The therapist. So, anyways, tonight is gaming and dinner. Hot turkey gravy, I think. Unless we don't have any turkey gravy, I can make some more. I want to make soup, but Chloe's fucking lazy. She doesn't care about anything. She wants big dinner, and then and then she used 3 pounds of bacon on a casserole. Oh my god! Last night I was like feeling I was gonna die with how much bacon in the damn green bean casserole. And then what excess bacon she had, she ate. Oh well. So, anyways, like I said, we're almost tooting 2 hours even. So I'm gonna toot myself out because I'd like to go. Mm, I'm gonna go soon and play my game. So, anyways, yeah, so I'm going to breeze out of here for the day. Higgins can email me, call me, he can do whatever. I got to get my phone out. Dad's not talking to me until Monday, so today's been a blessed day because that's one less thing we need to discuss, and we can get back on the path that matters, which is I'll think about it over the weekend. My day of rest is tomorrow, so I'm not going on live tomorrow, but I will be on Monday, and let's just say if I'm on Monday, I'll have something thoughtful to say without insulting people out of crankiness. Now, as you all know, I apologize for yesterday. Rob was yesterday is, there is no Cyber Monday deals and radios. They're trying to peddle last year's model and everything. I mean, I can't believe there's already a Cyber Monday sale going until after Monday. And yet, early Cyber Monday, and yet, I'm going to go over here for a second, okay? Right? I want to show you something. Right? All right, so I just want to show you this real quick. Coffee's done. Give me a second, okay? No, not gonna whistle a cake. So if you go over here, right? Amazon, right? This is the front page of Amazon, right? Right here, deals on Cyber Monday deal, Cyber Monday deal, Cyber Monday deal, Cyber Monday deal. So this might be a good deal. How much is this? Just to see, kitchen appliances, right? I've always wondered how that one works, but you got all these cyber deals, right? This is a air fryer, $170. That doesn't seem like appealing in my opinion for that money. Microwave, this one looks pretty good. Of course, the buttons is what I don't understand. Defrost, pause, cancel, cook, preheat, quick start, time menu. So how do you know how many minutes you need? I don't know. I don't trust the microwave. It doesn't have a keypad. Anyways, so basically, look at these deals. I mean, literally, you just go down the list and it's like Cyber Monday deals. Literally, see that? I mean, literally, how far can one go to see Cyber Deal Mondays? I mean, literally, it's not even Cyber Monday and they're still trying to sell stuff. Now, I love Zoe dearly, that's what I was saying. I was looking for a deal on, see all deals. Yeah, see, if you click on see all deals, right? And it'll be like, what are you looking for, right? So put an air fryer, for example, right? Because Zoe's like, I want an air fryer while I was looking at getting her one. So, but it doesn't say which one. So there's 167 air fryers on sale. I want one with a window like this. See, window. But I saw one recently that looked really good. Fortunately, just to try to find it. I could go into Zoe's little list, see if there's any Cyber Monday deals there. So, Zoe's Christmas list, right? So, apparently, there is no deal on turkey roasters. This one up in price again. I was just, Cyber deal right there, $98, right? So $98, and this one's $135, and this one's $37. She said, I don't want a breakfast maker. And then all the candy canes is, you know how it is. So, but this one here is the one that Zoe, I think, likes that raised the price. It just went up approximately, I think this is the one that has the one that Zoe likes, right? Apparently this one is the one with the kebabs. Yeah, so it was $49 for a brand new one, but now it's $159. I keep thinking about buying that for Zoe, but she's been good to me. I just anyway I look at it. Pee Wee's the only one commented. Like turkey roaster is expensive, so depends on what it is. But anyways, we'll come to that when we come to it. Okay, guys. So. Anyways, it's 2 hours, 1 minute. I'm done for the day. Higgins, feel free to email or call me. Zoe, if you're watching this, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for Higgins. Not happy that there is no Cyber Sunday, but Cyber Monday deals for me or any Black Friday deals. But you know what? I can live with it. As long as I got pop in my games, we're good to go. For the rest of you out there, I will be letting you guys know what's going on Monday. In the meantime, take care. Monday is the day of that ladies' meeting. It'll be fun. Please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestion. Hit the like, subscribe button. It's also fun for your family, including your dogs and cats, your bunnies, your service dogs, your service bunnies. Hit the bell notification. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Just keep the comments nice, all we ask. And thanks so much for watching, everyone. And God bless you in everything you do. You know. And then again, if you want to talk radios, you can call me. Otherwise, it's game time. Toodles! Come back soon!